How's it going, family law attorneys? So today I want to talk to you about a very important topic, and one that seems to really pull people one way or the other is, should you do a free consult or should you do a paid consult? Now, the first thing I want to address here is, if you are a newer attorney or if you are not completely packed, from morning to the afternoon or morning to night with your calendar, and you're billing for every hour of the day, then you should offer free consults, because you're not billing for every single hour and you could use more business. Now, if your calendar is full and every single hour of the day is billable, then I understand charging for consults, and at that point it would make sense, because if you're trading a consult for a billable hour, you're losing money on your time. You can also have someone else do the consult, but that's a story for another day. So those are the two things I want to preface this with: is if you're busy, then fine, you can charge for consults. If you're not busy, then you should be doing free consults until you get busy. So that's the first thing. Now, the next thing is if you offer free consults, whether or not you're busy or not, it's going to do a couple of things for you. So number one, it's going to help more data come into your firm. You're going to be able to have more appointments on your calendar, talk to more people, build up your ecosystem of leads, and gather data on those people. So it's going to help you refine your marketing campaigns. So for instance, when we talk to our clients, we want to know, okay, was this person broke? Were they in the right area? Could they actually pay? Were they actually a qualified case? Because if any of those things are answered no, then you can refine your marketing so your leads get better and better over time, because ultimately we want to drive more efficiency. So that is a big thing, is the data that comes along with talking to more people is very valuable to dial your marketing in. Now, the next aspect of a free consult is, let's say you trade some valuable information for this consult, and whether or not they close or not, the person's happy when they leave your office, you can hit them up for a Google review. So we have an attorney who's done this, and in the course of like 45 days, he got around 50 reviews, and his firm, the rankings just went through the roof because his reviews were so good, and it really boosted his appearance. So a free consult, you can still get paid with something. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be a review. It could be a referral in the future. It could be just goodwill, and later they come back to you if they actually need you. So there's a lot of benefits that come from a free consult. And the last thing I'll touch on from like a qualitative standpoint is, if you do a free consult and they're not qualified to work with you, well, maybe they're qualified to work with another attorney near you, and you can refer that piece of business out and either start a relationship with another firm, and perhaps a joint venture where they refer you clients, you refer them clients, or you can maybe get a kickback on that. Whatever it is that you can do with it, that's up to you guys. But again, there are things you can do with leads that are not necessarily qualified to work with you. There are still ways to monetize them. There are still benefits you can get from them. One more thing before we dive into that data that I want to talk about, and I hear this pretty often, is if they can't afford to pay for my consult, they can't afford my services. And that can't be farther from the truth. I have a couple of stories as to why. So number one, let's say that you were looking for a marketing company like us, and you decided that, okay, let me book a call with them and find out what they do. And I charge you $250 for a call to get on there with me. Would you take that call? Probably not, because you're just like, okay, I can go somewhere else and find the information I need. And can you afford to pay for our services? You probably can. We are priced very affordably. I know that attorneys, whether you're a solo or a larger firm, you can afford our services. So that whole idea that they can't pay $120 for a consult means they're broke is not necessarily true. It just means they don't want to pay you. When we were looking for an attorney to break our office lease, we could easily pay consult fees, but we just decided we didn't want to, because we could find someone that did free consults. It's really simple. So that's just a little tidbit there on that idea that they can't pay my consult fee, which means they're broke. It's not necessarily true. So let's go ahead and dive into that data. All right, so ultimately, you can go either way on, what we were just... So ultimately, it doesn't really matter what I'm saying. Let's just look at the data. So ultimately, what I like to rely on when we're making a decision like this is the data. Let's just take a look at the data and play with these numbers to see what would a free consult yield and what would a paid consult yield from a revenue standpoint. So in both these scenarios, the free consult scenario and the paid consult scenario, we're going to get 30 leads. So this is someone calling in your firm asking for help with their issue, whatever that issue is, divorce, custody, whatever. So what we're going to assume on the free consult side is you're going to get more bookings, which we tend to see this with our clients. The show rate will be a little lower, and the close rate will be a little lower, because the theory is if they're not paying for a consult, they're not as qualified. And again, I think that's a myth, but we're just going to go with those numbers. Now, on the paid consult side, what we're going to see is a lower booking rate, because not as many people are going to book a consult, and we've seen this with our clients. The show rate is going to be 100%, meaning everyone who books will actually show up because they paid for their consult. And this is a safe assumption. And the close rate is going to be higher also because they're more qualified. Again, that is a theory. It is not necessarily true. So let's go ahead and look through this. So on the free side, what we have here are 30 leads, and our consult booking rate is 70%, which means that 70% of those 30 leads are going to actually book a consultation with you. Now, that's going to give you 21 consults booked on your calendar. Now, 70% of those people are actually going to show to their consultation. So you're going to get no-showed because, again, it was free and they just decided they didn't want to show up that day or they forgot, whatever it is. So that means that you've had 15 consults attended in this time frame. Let's just say it's a month. Now, let's say you close at 30%, which is going to give you about 4 pieces of business. Now, if your average value per divorce or custody, whatever it is, just upfront is $3,500, then you're going to make about $15,435 in this time frame. And you're not making any money from your consults, so your total revenue from this scenario is $15,400. Now, let's look at the paid consult side, and we're going to assume a paid consult fee of $250. So you're getting 30 leads just like we talked about, but now only 20% of the people are actually going to go through and book a consult with you, and they're going to pay your $250 consult fee. Now 100% of these people are going to show, and 50% of them are going to close. So that's a good deal higher than our 30% closing rate. Our average value is still the same, so we're still charging $3,500 for our retainer. And what we're going to get is 6 consultations booked, so that's 20% of the 30 leads. We're going to get 6 consultations attended because remember, all of them are going to attend because they paid you. And we're going to get 3 clients that have come through from this. So this will give us about $10,500 in revenue. But because we are charging for our consult and we had 6 of them at $250 a piece, we're making an additional $1,500. So now we're making $12,000 instead of $15,000 just because we're charging $250 for our consult fee. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to our channel by clicking the button below. And if you want us to help you grow your law firm, you can book a call with me in the comments section below. Let's get back to the video. Now again, these numbers can be different. If you manipulate these numbers, it could look better one way or the other. And these are just some basic things to think about when you're charging for a consult versus not charging for a consult. What is the opportunity cost on leads missed? And did you miss, a potential big client from just, weeding them out from the consult process? So again, consider this when you are charging or not charging for a consultation. Ultimately, the decision's up to you, but this is just what we think. We think free consults are better. You gather more data, you get reviews, and ultimately, if your funnel is set up like this, you'll make more money. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.